In this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, the Kaguya Otsutsuki backstory comes to a conclusion, and we officially learn that it was actually Black Zetsu, the anthropomorphic ball of black goo, which has actually been manipulating all of the events in the Naruto series. This episode could have been so much more, because we finally got to see Hagoromo and Hamura teaming up against Kaguya Otsutsuki in the big final battle, which would eventually lead up to her being sealed away into the moon and sent into the heavens, back where she belongs. Unfortunately, this is one of those episodes where the animation and the artwork really isn't all that great, especially in the backstory elements for Kaguya Otsutsuki. That being said, this was still a pretty eye-opening episode and had some great connections to not only Naruto, but also the future of the Naruto series as well. For those who've actually seen the Boruto film, you're actually going to see some silhouetted images of the villains who appear in that film, as well as the possibility of a teaser for a brand new third villain. That's right, there was this one key sequence in this week's episode where Kaguya is confronted by Hagoromo, who had just finished up all of his sage training, is planning to team up with his brother to take his mother down. And Kaguya explains that the reason she's been sucking up people into the divine tree and taking away their chakra is because she's trying to create an army to fight off this evil force which is coming. That force is seen in the Boruto film, however there is one figure who is far on the left that frankly, I don't know who that is. There is the potential that we have a brand new villain we've never seen in the series who might be appearing much later on in the Naruto franchise, probably in the brand new Boruto manga series. And then of course there is Hagoromo, who in this week's episode apparently has been training with the Sage Toads for quite some time. He's a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and he's also been able to awaken his secret abilities thanks to Kaguya. He gets his Rinnegan eye, he gets that weird red eye on his forehead, and Hamura is also being slightly controlled by Kaguya until he's suddenly knocked out of his senses thanks to the powers of Hagoromo. And another really cool thing, which definitely paints Hagoromo in a great light, especially when compared to his mother, is that Gamamaru actually gave him this seal, this tag, which he could use as basically like a one-time use that could heal his body even if it's on the verge of death. And after defeating his brother Hamura in battle, he actually decides to use that on him. And that's when the true battle begins, when the divine tree transforms into the Ten Tails, which literally is a physical manifestation of Kaguya's powers. And this is where they battle for months on end, practically completely destroying the entire planet in the process, when suddenly Hagoromo and Hamura are able to seal their mother away, at least until she returns in the future. The thing is, right before she was sealed away, that's when she gave birth to Black Zetsu, the manifestation of Kaguya's will, who spent the next 1,000 years sort of steering everything in the right direction so that Kaguya could actually be revived, quite literally creating the feud between the Uchiha and the Senju, so that eventually one member of the Uchiha would be able to gain the powers of the Rinnegan, use the infinite Tsukiyomi, so that they could revive Kaguya. Black Zetsu ultimately being the manipulator is something that I really like, because when Zetsu was originally introduced into the Naruto series, especially after that battle with Naruto and Sasuke at the Valley of the End, I knew there was just something so ominous about this character. I'm not sure if Kishimoto actually had this planned from the beginning, if he even intended for Black Zetsu, or even Zetsu for that matter, to end up being one of the final villains of the series, but honestly, I like it. It's a nice change of pace. In many ways, as cool as Madara Uchiha is, I'm glad that the final villain of the series is not just a random Uchiha member. It's actually the primordial ancestors in which they came from, and something about that I think is really awesome. And just the dedication that Black Zetsu went through to actually make all of these events go down are pretty insane, and how everything just sort of fell into place when Madara Uchiha came around. Especially how he was able to find his body, create the Akatsuki, allow Kabuto to join the organization, so everything just worked out perfectly for him in an effort to revive Kaguya Otsutsuki, who unfortunately is still a character I just don't care about all that much. The entire point of these backstory arcs was to sort of give us a little more about where she came from, where she's going, and where she's been. And I just don't care about her all that much. She's still basically just a very stoic character. She is a woman of very few words, and I still wish we would have seen where she actually came from before she came to Earth. Maybe to see, like, where her people are from. I think that would have been a really interesting element for the Naruto series. That being said, I do like how they're able to tie this into all the different various movies and all the things that are going to be happening in the future events after Naruto Shippuden. I think that's a really good detail. But again, I'm still more interested to see who that other silhouetted character is. I'm so pumped up to see if that's going to be a future villain. The Otsutsuki clan is pretty damn devious. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden Black Zetsu, you manipulative bastard? Strictly from a design perspective, when it comes to Black Zetsu, I'm sort of getting this Father from Full Metal Alchemist or Anti-Spiral from Gurren Lagann vibe, just the way he's actually designed, being this blob of goo who can turn into this human form. And then there's just something so interesting about that character, how he's been able to keep all of this stuff so secret for so long, especially from some incredibly powerful characters like Madara and Obito. The fact that he was able to manipulate all of those guys is truly a testament to his skills and his dedication to his mother, Kaguya Otsutsuki. If there's any upside to this episode, it's that the Kaguya backstory's over, and in the next one we're getting right back to the canon storyline, which looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome episode. Looks like we're going to be changing locales, and it also appears that the animation and the artwork quality is going to go up just a little bit more, and that's something that needs to happen, because there was just a lot of slow fighting choreography in this episode. You would almost expect, when Hagoromo was fighting against Hamura, for the battle to be a lot more explosive and fast and fluid. It's surprisingly slow and really nothing all that new for the Naruto series. Even when he activates this lightning attack ability that he uses to punch right through Hamura, there's really nothing all that impressive about the attack, and you would almost expect to see a little bit more when all three of these characters are fighting, but it seems like as soon as they got to, like, the big battle with Kaguya, they just immediately swept the rest of the story under the rug and were like, alright, let's get through this, come on. I would have liked to have seen this be, like, a really big, crazy action episode with a lot of attention to detail, but it looks like they're going to be saving their best animation teams for the final episodes of Naruto, maybe a few Kaguya episodes, and maybe for a few other big events which are going to be taking place at the end of the series. I really cannot wait to see what they're going to do with that, because as it stands, we are this much closer to the conclusion of the Naruto Shippuden anime series. And like I said, it does a great job of tying in with the other movies as well. Not just the Boruto movie, but even Naruto the Last, especially with Hamura getting ready to go over the moon and to watch over his mother. All of these events tie into those movies, and they make them feel all the more important, and that's arguably why they're the best Naruto films. They're the canon storyline. So I would definitely recommend this episode of Naruto Shippuden, if only for the fact that it does a good job of expanding on the backstory of Kaguya, Hagoromo, and Hamura, and how all of the events of the series have been manipulated by Black Zetsu, and I mean every single event. Even that Uchiha tablet he rewrote so that the Uchiha would use the infinite Tsukiyomi, all just so that he could bring Kaguya back. Really painting Black Zetsu as being one of the greatest villains from the Naruto series. He's so freaking great. I love him in this episode. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say about this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden. I really did enjoy it. It did a great job of expanding, but some of the artwork in the animation definitely leave a lot to be desired. So I am going to give this episode right here a 4 out of 5. We're done with the Kaguya backstory. We can finally move on to some kick-ass action. So let's get excited for that. But if any of you did watch this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, why don't you tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below? Did you have a favorite scene from this episode? Were you impressed with the Kaguya Otsutsuki backstory? Were you not impressed? Were you shocked that Black Zetsu has been the manipulator behind all of the major events of the Naruto series? And what do you want to see in the final battle against Kaguya Otsutsuki and the rest of the Naruto Shippuden anime series? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this review. I truly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. If you would like to help support the channel, you can do that in a number of cool ways. You could like this video. You could subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be able to see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. Make sure to also check out our weekly podcast show, The Powerful Nerdcast. It's pretty freaking awesome. You guys can also check out all the other cool links we got in the description box below. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!